Hi, and welcome back to A Nerd, a Teacher, and a Hockey Player Walk Into a ... A relevant yet irreverent look at what's going on in tech, business, and life here in Wichita or wherever you may be. Thanks for joining us on the ride. I'm Paul. I'm the nerd.
I'm Kimber. I'm the teacher.
And I'd be Jeff, the hockey player.
So, Kimber, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about, I want to call it the evolution of business. So that's what we're talking about, but that's not right. We want to talk about the changing business landscape and culture shifts. Jeff,
Oh, man.
tell us more.
Well, I'm going to take these. I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit since I got the opportunity to go first. I look no further than the last couple of weeks and some of the political, way the political climate is shaping up right now, and how that is most definitely going to and is having an impact on business. Whether it's thinking about supply chain or organizations and you know their investment in diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's kind of a crazy time right now on the business landscape because of our changing political landscape, and I can't remember a time where we had a change in the political landscape that has had people talking like they are now. It's amazing to me that we're here. And
Jeff, do you think it's fear, uncertainty, excitement?
Yes.
What emotion are we feeling?
I think there is a lot of fear. I think there's a lot of concern. And please note, I'm not trying to make a political statement or anything like that. It's just an observation and watching people. And I've just in the last week been in several conversations, even as early as this morning around our conference table after our team meeting. And there was some political discussions going on, not necessarily how it affects business, but it doesn't take you that long to see how there is that dotted line. I mentioned supply chain. I think that, some of these tariffs and stuff, and we've talked about it in our own organization. We sit there, we think about, okay, well, Microsoft has announced the end of support for Windows 10, and we know that we've got clients out there that have a majority of Windows 10 workstations, and they're going to need to upgrade those. Some of those workstations won't handle Windows 11. And so we know that there's going to be a lot of our clients that need to purchase new laptops and desktop workstations. Well, what might the tariffs do to that? What might the supply chain look like come June, July, August, when people are starting to really ramp up their purchasing and thinking, oh gosh, October is here. It's October 14th, by the way. Oh my gosh, October 14th is here. It's coming. It's 2 months away. I need to replace these in the channel. Who knows what's going to be there and what it's going to cost. So that's just an example of how the political landscape right now can and will affect our year and how we conduct our business this year.
And I think there's a couple things in there that I want to kind of expand on a little bit from my perspective. First, I think you're right. I think things are going to change. In fact, most business owners should be approaching it from the perspective, hey, shit's going to change, stuff's going to change. And I just, as a business owner, need to pay attention to those changes. I don't necessarily need to be afraid of them because things change in business all the time.
Right.
This supplier opens, this supplier closes, this price goes up, this price goes down. As a business owner, you have to pay attention to that, but you can't get too wrapped up in the emotion and the fear side of it.
Right.
Because you still have a business to run. Mm-hmm. And let's say, for example, let's talk about your tariffs. And just kind of for a frame of reference, when we're watching this 6 years down the road, there's talk about there being 25% tariffs on anything imported from China. And that in our world is laptops and desktops and all that kind of stuff.
A lot of the components come from China.
So if you think about the price of a laptop currently being right around $1,000, again, that's going to be fun to look back on in 6 years and think, it was never $1,000. But if you think about the price of a laptop being $1,000, a 25% tariff on that's $250. So my laptop is $1,250. But think about how much productivity your business would lose if they ran that raggedy old laptop another year or two instead of spending the money just because they were afraid of that additional $250. You've kind of cut off your nose to spite your face. You've saved yourself $250 of this. I'm scared of a tariff, but you've lost thousands of dollars in productivity.
Right.
So, just suck it up and spend the money.
Right.
Sorry if that's a callous commercial, but that's the reality of kind of the work, the world that we're living in is you can't let fear or dread run your life and make your business decisions for you.
At the same time, if you're not keeping up to date on that, you're no longer supported, which means you can't check that box on your cybersecurity insurance, which means you're opening yourself and all your clients to all these security risks, and then MSPs aren't going to carry you.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. It certainly could impact our business. I know right now we're talking about, making sure our technical consultants are having these conversations with their clients just to say, hey, we're not trying to scare you. And I love that's another one of the parts of our culture is the FUD. Real quick, I'm not as good about the FUD. Tell what is FUD?
FUD in our industry stands for fear, uncertainty, and dread. And for those of you that have been around the tech space a long time, or even tangent to the tech space, it's used a lot to sell you into buying something that I really can't explain to you coherently why you need to buy it, what benefit it's going to do to you're going to have for your business, how it's going to make you more productive, how it's going to make you more money, how it's going to make your staff happier. So I resort to FUD. I resort to saying, no, you need to spend this extra $1,000 for this hot rod security software because the Russians are coming, the Russians are coming, the Russians are coming. And don't make, I want to make sure that doesn't seem like I'm minimizing that threat. The big three, the Russians, the North Koreans, and the Chinese, they're out there. They're knocking on your door all the time.
Right.
And in some cases, yes, that added investment works for you. But as an IT business professional, I should be able to explain to you as a business owner where that adds value. And I shouldn't just say, there's some dude in China coming for your stuff.
Yeah.
So FUD's out there all the time, and dread is part of what we're feeling now. It's like, well, we support a lot of nonprofits. What's going to happen to their budget if certain things are changed? What's going to happen to society if DE&I initiatives are put on the back burner, at least in publicly funded organizations or taxpayer funded organizations?
But we've already seen some of our nonprofits. We were talking about it a little bit this morning, and some of the nonprofits are like, oh my gosh, what does this mean to me? What is this? And there is some of that fear out there. What's cool about our approach with our clients is to try to, when we talked about the need to replace some of these workstations, it's just we're not trying to try to scare you. We're just going to say, hey, as your business partner, we really recommend that if you're going to allocate these dollars for that, buy it now. You might save yourself a little bit of money instead of waiting till the summertime or what have you. It might be worthwhile to spend that money now if you've got it earmarked for technology or whatever, considering there might be some tariffs coming. But again, that's just being a little bit smarter, maybe acting in the moment versus kicking the can down the road. But anyway.
And there's a great quote that just goes right along with that. It's from General Patton. It says, a good plan executed violently today is better than a perfect plan executed next week. So I think it's time to kind of set some of the fear and dread aside and get off your ass.
You can say it. You got to say the full word.
Get off your ass. Sorry, pulled up short there. Get off your ass and make the investments you need to make the changes in your business you need to make the changes in your career you want to make, and not worry about what's this next thing down the road that might impact me. Make the decision today, execute that plan violently, and you'll be miles ahead of the guy that's still sitting on his butt, trying to figure out what's the best way to not have this thing impact me.
Why did you pause and not say ass and say butt instead? I mean, do we set that for this round?
I'm just running out of quarters.
We have a curse for a cause jar. So anytime we curse, we add money to the jar, and that goes towards a.
Kimber, where's the change going to this quarter?
Our first quarter nonprofit spotlight is Wichita Children's Home.
Nice.
Great.
And so if you would like to swear for the children, you should swear for the fucking children.
Oh, there it is.
That's $1.
That's $1 bill. Girl, I love that. That was really smooth too.
While she ponies up her coin, if you're interested in their mission, check them out at wch.org. They support the Wichita children in need in our area. Also, another reminder about our Cursing for a Cause jar. For those of you that are in the IT industry, friends of ours following us on YouTube, listen to that. I would suggest, I would challenge you to take up a collection of your own. Many of you use plenty of colorful language in your YouTube posts, so please put out a jar. Tell us who you're supporting in Cursing for a Cause, and let's just get this shit done.
Let's get this shit done and start freaking cussing.
You followed me. I'll buy yours too.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Makes you feel better too.
Yep.
Gets it off your shoulders, and it's for a worthy cause.
So, Kimber, what's on your mind about the changing business environment and what we're seeing, both from a business and maybe a society perspective?
I think it's really interesting how the culture used to be, the beatings will continue till the attitude improves. And now we're really more into that. I want an effective leader, and I want to be heard, and I want to be supported authentically, and I want to be invested in as an employee. And if the leaders in my organization aren't willing to do that, I'll find somebody who is. And I think that's a really positive shift. It goes back into our mental health, makes us be better employees. And who doesn't want to be supported? I think that's crazy to not want that. But I really appreciate that that's the kind of the shift that we're having. There is a little uncertainty in that now with some of the things being pulled away, and maybe not everybody feels supported. Well, as business leaders, what can we do?
You made a great comment in our meeting this morning with the team about mental health. Can you kind of rewind that a little bit and share that with everybody?
We had that conversation this morning about some of our nonprofits who are really starting to feel concerned about where their budget is going to be coming from and how they can support their causes and still pay their people. And, they were, the TCs were talking about this, that, and the other thing. And I just stopped everybody and said, you're human too. You have to feel supported. You have to take care of yourself and your people. And you need that system. In order to be that system, you need it. So at our table, our Wednesday morning table is a space to say, I'm feeling this, that, or the other thing, and we have that support in our space. We're not going to call an 800 number and say to somebody I've never met before, I'm feeling stressed out, which is an amazing option that a lot of businesses have, but you need that face-to-face. I am your leader, and I'm going to lead by investing in you.
And I think in the uncertain times we have right now, especially as we're, as Jeff was talking about with the political climate, the social political climate, I think it's important that all of us have friends, peers, mentors, a buddy, somebody like that we can kind of unpack that with from time to time and just say, hey, Jeff, I'm kind of really stressed about this right now. Can we grab a beer and talk about X?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Probably more so now than ever before. It's important to I see people, the new administration talked about shock and awe, and I think they've been successful in shock and awe. And to your point, Paul, sometimes you just got to have a moment to kind of pull back and have a conversation with somebody, help you make you feel better, maybe even feel like you're being heard. But for sure, I do agree with you, Kimber. We've got that in spades at our organization. You can have that conversation. It's cool. It was cool watching that conversation take place this morning after the meeting, and it's just cool. Everybody just kind of said their piece and got to get their piece in. But what I loved about it is nobody was right or wrong, and I think that one of the most important things for people to remember in this political environment is that we all still have to live together. And while the political climate's very polarizing, we're still all on the same team. At the end of the day, we all still, Americans, we still live in the best country in the world. At least I think so. We have to support each other. It's hard to see that divisiveness in our society right now, and it seems like it's at an all-time high.
So I have a question for you two. Because you are kind of the top of the organization, you might not be able to go to your employees and say, hey, I'm feeling this, that, or the other thing. So business leaders who are at that top, who don't have somebody above them to go to with those concerns, what should they do? Where do you go?
Peers, friends, golfing buddies.
Oh, golf.
and a lot of times, for me, and I've got a couple friends that I've made through the industry. Shout out to Kevin and to Don, you know who you are, and Stuart. I've got some friends in the industry that aren't local. And sometimes it's easier to just call them and say, hey, Kevin, you got a couple minutes that we can kind of chat about this? This is what I'm feeling. This is what's going on. Are you feeling the same thing? How are things with you? Just kind of that regular, distant, but check-in call and visit with somebody that you may not be that close with physically, but you guys share common experiences, in our case, a common business challenges. That's one of the things I find real fascinating about the IT industry or what we call the channel in general, is just that peer-to-peer networking opportunity to have people that you know that are facing similar things, or somebody that's facing a thing that they know, hey, Paul's been doing this for 25 years. I'm going to reach out to him and see what his thoughts are on it.
You said something about that this morning, Kimber. You said you reach out, check on people, ask them, help them out. Are you doing okay? This is the time I think that people need to be paying attention to somebody if they've kind of got that 100-yard stare. I kind of find comfort in, I talk to Paul. We can have in our meetings, we can maybe have a conversation about life or my spouse, but my outlet, well, that's where the hockey player comes, right? That's and for the record, I am a hockey player, not professionally. They don't pay me shit.
For the children.
In fact, in my league, if you fight, you get suspended, and then you have to pay to be reinstated. It's a full game, and then you have to pay $50 to be reinstated. I should find out where that $50 is going.
You should. Maybe
not that I've ever been suspended for fighting. No, I would never do such a thing. But that's my outlet, so I have that. Beer league hockey on Sundays. You can't beat it.
How do people even get involved in that? Like, how do you just show up to the ice rink on Sunday and say, "Hey, I'd take a swing at somebody"? Or what do you do?
Generally, you reach out to somebody at the rink, or you know somebody who knows me.
Okay.
And then I get them hooked up. It's funny. Paul and I ran into somebody a couple of weeks ago that I got into the hockey community. He's Canadian, so I picked up on his accent. I met the guy at through a different business opportunity, and picked up that he was talking about stuff and things like that. So I picked up on that at Canadian accent. I said, "You Canadian?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You play hockey?" "Yeah, I'm looking for a game, man. Where can I find a game?" I was like, "What?" You happen to be talking to the right guy. So I got him in with the drop-in game, and next thing you know, and he's Canadian, so I knew right away that he could skate, and that by the end of that drop-in period, somebody would already have him on their team, and they did. So,
okay, so you talked about golf, and you talked about hockey. As men, do you find that it's trickier to find outlets that aren't aggressive? Like if you want to have a meaningful conversation.
Oh, so golf's aggressive?
I have played golf, and I play golf aggressively.
Full contact golf?
Full contact that driver with the ground when I'm mad that that ball didn't go.
So you're one of those
very
where it's
far.
like, who's got the longest drive and who has the longest club throw?
I always win the club throw.
Right.
Always. And it goes backwards.
So there is some aggression in there for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Golf
okay.
is aggressive.
Usually golf is kind of supposed to be comforting and just kind of an out and easy, but I agree. Sometimes it can be pretty frustrating.
I think you have to have a certain alcohol amount before golf gets like relaxing.
Same with bowling.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But what do people like? What do men do? There's a lot for women. What about men?
Oh shit, this is getting touchy-feely.
Yeah. Squirrel.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be the business leader and you want to be knowledgeable in the business world and we want to talk about mental health, we got to talk about mental health.
Right. And I think that's where, at some level, professional counseling fills a niche.
Yeah.
I think there was a stigma about that in the past, but I think in today's day and age, men in general need to embrace that opportunity. They need to embrace the ability to consult and confide in their peers. Again, whether that's a peer you play golf with, a peer you shoot pool with, you drink beer with, you walk dogs with, whatever the case. I think as men in business and men in general, I think you need to seek out those opportunities to have somebody hear you in a impartial, non-judgmental way. And the other thing is, if you're the recipient of that confidence, and I know I'm horrible about this. I get chided about this at the house all the time. Sometimes you don't need to solve their problem.
That's it right there.
You don't need to solve their problem. You just need to say, I hear you, Jeff.
Yeah.
I hear you, Jeff.
I get that.
I'm here for you if you need any help, but I'm not going to solve your problem.
Right. Might indicate how things go in my house when my wife now prefaces this. Now, I don't need you to solve this. I just need you to listen.
But hear me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I immediately am listening for an opportunity to help try to solve the problem. And that's not what she needs. She just needed somebody to listen. So, okay. I'll shut the fuck up and sit on my hands and put a quarter for the job.
No, that was $1, sir.
You got it.
For the record, I'm out of cash, so I'm not going to talk anymore.
Okay, before we wrap things up real quick, Jeff, tell me a story about your shirt.
All right, this is live. So concert T-shirts. That's our jam. Live, not live. Live. I saw live at the. It was then the Hartman Arena. It was for their 20th anniversary of Throwing Copper. Good band, a lot of fun. Great show.
Okay, I'm sporting a Cheap Trick T-shirt from a concert my wife and I went to about 6 or 8 months ago. They opened for Rod Stewart. It was a great show, and it's amazing that Rod at his age still can play for 2.5 hours. Like he's 30. It's amazing. Life goals. Kimber, how about you?
I'm wearing a Rolling Stones T-shirt. I did not see the Rolling Stones live, man. That would have been a story. But I got into a dive bar with a fake ID, and saw Rolling Stones cover band a long time ago, and it was. I now always want to go to the dive bars. It was one of those life-changing experiences.
Some of the best shows are the cover bands at some dive bar.
I know there's like 20 people in the audience, and you're all shoulder to shoulder.
Those are the best. I got a question for you, real quick, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Who was better, Cheap Trick or Rod Stewart?
My wife and I would split that 50-50. I'm a big Cheap Trick fan.
Yeah.
I was there for Rod Stewart for her.
Yeah.
She obviously, thoroughly loves Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
Both of them were amazing shows. Well worth the time. Well worth the money.
My wife saw that Stewart was touring, so I've been gigged about that too. So
Do it.
Cheap Trick, though, that's good. Okay,
Yep.
I can probably sit through Rod for Cheap Trick. Oh, I didn't say that out loud, did I?
Man.
So
Oh, dang. Like the comments for this one are going to be some angry Rod Stewart.
So to wrap things up, the topic today was, the changing business environment.
Right.
And I just kind of want to close with kind of what I started opening with, and this is going to cost me another quarter, although it's a repeat. Just keep in mind that shit's going to change. And as a human, as a citizen, as a business owner, as an employee, you need to pay attention to it, but don't let the FUD, don't let the fear, uncertainty, and dread rule your life and paralyze you from making a decision. Yeah. So thanks for tuning in.
Reach out and check up on your friends and family too.
Word.
Yeah. Thanks. Sorry. Go ahead.
Check in with your friends and family. Again, thanks for watching us. This has been a nerd, a teacher, and a hockey player walk into we'll see you next time.
Thanks.